and welcome to Moral High Ground, where I talk about what's morally right to you, to me, and everybody. I'm trying to talk loud, okay? I got some mic audio issue. I thought it was my old mic, so I did an upgrade, and yet the volume's still messed up, and I have to figure it's this program I'm using, and it's still messed up. So hopefully you can hear me. If not, turn the volume up, turn it down a little bit when I'm playing the video and so forth. So with all that nonsense being said, we're moving on. Now, today I'm talking about Scientology. A lot of people are afraid of the Scientology church, the Church of Scientology, and they think that they're going to get taken down by the people and FBI, CIA. I don't have no idea, but they're afraid. And I'm not. I'm just going to talk about it because, first off, I don't have no idea how Scientology works. I don't understand Scientology, nor do I know anything about the books or anything that represent Scientology, except for actors and stuff that come out and say, hey, Scientology is bad. You know, and they do this and that, like the girl from King of Queens and stuff like that. So other than that, I have no idea. And I know Tom Cruise is their main guy. But we're going to watch 3 little videos. Well, 2 little videos and 1 little long video about Scientology. And I'm going to talk about what I think is wrong, or just my opinion, period. Like I said, I have no idea how Scientology truly works and why people believe in Scientology. I don't. And so it's the best way to try to explain it is to watch it and just do my thing. And so here we go. Let's get into Scientology and figure out why people love it so much and believe in it. And so this first video, and once again, let me stress the point that South Park already talked about Scientology, just like they talked about the Mormons. They got Mormon live show, Broadway show, and they did a whole thing on Scientology, which we all know Isaac Hayes practiced Scientology, which got rid of Chef, which was the best damn character on South Park. My favorite character, next to Kenny. I think Kenny's pretty much everybody's favorite because he dies, he comes back, he's like the Grim Reaper boy or whatever. He's funny. But Scientology is just the name itself. Scientology says it's separate from God, even though it shouldn't be, because there's lots of science in the Bible. Give me some time to explain that, or look at some of my old previous shows, and you'll probably figure out that I'm telling you the science in the Bible. So let's get with it. Let's get with it.
Only the most dedicated are told the secrets of Level 3, in which Scientology's history of mankind is finally revealed. 75 million years ago, a tyrant named Xenu ruled the Galactic Confederation, a coalition of 76 planets. One of these planets was Tigak, which we...
Okay, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop, because, man, I'm having deja vu, because like the Mormon thing, once again, we're talking planets, and this guy, Xenu, had 79 or 77 planets or some crap, and a federation. So it's already sounding like Star Trek or Star Wars or something, and that's way different than the Mormons talk about being human, becoming God, and owning your own planet. The only thing I really like about that whole concept is you get to own your own planet. Just imagine if every human on the planet Earth was granted a planet in the universe and was able to make it whatever they want. It'd probably be a badass universe, you know. But then again, you got to deal with the gas giants, the ones with too much carbon like Venus, the ones that freeze over really bad like Mars, and then you got the ones that are made out of certain types of elements like Pluto's got a whole bunch of things that's just diamonds, but then Pluto's not a planet no more because of Neil deGrasse Tyson. So, I mean, I can go on and on about that stuff too. But anyway,
we now call Earth. The Confederation was suffering from an overpopulation problem, so Xenu had billions of people drugged and sent to Earth. He placed their paralyzed bodies around volcanoes, into which he dropped hydrogen bombs. With the bodies now blown up, only the souls, or as Hubbard calls them, Thetans, were left. So they wouldn't try to return. Xenu captured these Thetans and implanted them with ideas like religion. The souls were left disorientated and clustered together. The Thetans entered whatever human bodies they could still find. According to Hubbard, these Thetans remain in our bodies and are the source of all human woes.
So, stopping it. Okay, so let's go over some things he just said. First off, they injected these humans. These aliens came, injected these humans, and put them next to a volcano. And threw a hydrogen bomb in this volcano. Saying it sounds stupid. You put a hydrogen bomb in a volcano with people that was paralyzed that got drugged by an alien. And then I can't even say that this is alright. It is the volcano blows up, destroys the bodies, and these Thetans come out. These are spirits of aliens or something, and it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so aliens are, oh man, I'm confused even trying to explain what I'm explaining. Okay, so the Thetans are supposed to be spirits of aliens. Now here's the thing. Okay, if it's going back to this is supposed to be the beginning of Earth. First off, where did you get enough humans to inject, and why are you injecting them? And then, it doesn't make any sense. Why are you injecting them? And how do you get a hydrogen bomb way back before hydrogen was ever created, before the Manhattan Project? It makes no sense. And it doesn't make any freaking sense. It is like, this is crazy, man. It is, man. Okay. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make any sense. This sounds like a script for a science fiction movie. It really does. It sounds like you're watching a science fiction cartoon that's a script for a movie build-up. Like I said, Star Trek, Star Wars, I don't care, Stargate, whatever. But it doesn't sound like a faith of religion. And then on top of that, the other thing they talked about in that little short clip, a little part of the clip, was that they indoctrinated, or they put in their mind, the belief in religion. So that's the part we're trying to say is religion, is that they're saying they put that in their minds. So why would the aliens put religion in your minds after they injected you, put you by volcanoes and blew it up with a hydrogen bomb? And which volcanoes are they talking about? They're talking about Hawaii, because that's the place that's constantly active volcanoes, like 24/7, year after year. Volcanoes are steadily going, making more land mass underneath the ocean and above the ocean and all through the place. But anywhere else on Earth, there's not really active volcanoes like that. So what did they do? They put everybody in Hawaii, drugged them up, and blew up a hydrogen bomb in a volcano that made spirit babies. Or no, that's Mormons. No, see? This stuff is confusing the hell out of me. It's all, it doesn't make any damn sense. It's confusing the hell out of me. Okay? So, whatever. They must have had a hell of a party in Hawaii, and then the aliens just left them there to believe stupid nonsense. Oh my God.
Scientology aims to completely clear an individual of their body Thetans.
I just find that such a deception, that it's not until you've given them $100,000 they say, oh, by the way, your body is infested with hundreds and thousands of invisible alien beings. How many people would join Scientology if they were told that on day one?
Wow. Okay, so that was the ending of that little clip. And from what that guy just said, it sounds like a big con. Here you're talking about giving them $100,000. You know how much stuff you can do with $100,000? And you know what I'm saying? And he's like, you're sitting here talking about you gotta give them more to get rid of these spirit things, Thetans as they call them. You gotta give them more than $100,000 to get rid of Thetans. Okay? And it makes no sense. And then on top of that, so it's just really a big con to get you out your paycheck. And I'm having difficulties with this video because I don't see any belief system here. I see a cold science fiction strip that is confusing all in itself, because there has to be, for a religion to be started, you have to explain the beginning of humanity. You have to explain where the source of humanity comes from, which is God or Buddha. You have to explain Earth and its formation. Some people believe flat Earth. Some people believe Earth is on the back of a turtle, which what China used to believe. And that there's this tight inside the Earth and stuff like this. You have to have something that shows you the creation of Earth and the creation of humanity. That's how religions actually start. You have to explain your God and explain what his purpose is. And here you just have an alien that has a federation and 77 planets, and he wants to drug people up and put them by volcanoes and blow it up with a hydrogen bomb and make spirit people and Satans. It just so the alien's supposed to be the God. It just doesn't make sense. It's so confusing. It's actually really bad. It's another form of heresy, and it's ridiculous. Okay. And so we're going to move on to the next video. Okay, so we're going to watch this next video. Another video I'm trying to get to understand the origins of Scientology here right now, and I don't understand the origins of Scientology at the moment, because all I think it is right now is this kind of cool. Not even kind of cool. I could write something better than this, but it's semi-interesting to me that they're using aliens as the basis of a whole belief system, but yet not talking about the origins of humanity or the creation of Earth itself. So it's, I don't know. I really don't know how to explain this one. But we really don't. It's got me puzzled. So, first off, let's get into it. L.R. Hubbard, okay? He's a book writer, if you don't know. And he's a good one. He's not like H.R. Wells or one of those guys. Well, kind of. They write a lot of books, but some of the names are really knowledgeable. And if you're going to look for research and knowledge of a belief system, it's best to try to go with somebody that's well written. And with that being said, though, this guy's a book writer whose whole writing became a religion or a belief system. It's the same as talking about, for example, let's say you took Stephen King's work to be doctrine of some kind, and you start worshiping Stephen King and worshiping, like, I don't know, Sleepwalkers or The Stand. Stand's a good one. So, like, if you're worshiping The Stand, which is pretty much like a religious thing, talking about, in his sense, I don't know about the new one. I love the old one, because it was like, it was showing the end in his mind, but it was pretty cool. And you can tell it's still got Christian based around the whole thing, but it's not right because it's imagination out of his mind or his own concepts of what he wants them to be. And it's kind of like even saying if he was like Supernatural, the TV show, that Supernatural is its own religion in itself, because of the fact that there's God, there's angels, there's demons, there's humanity messing up all over the place. There's all kinds of other creatures and abominations against God and so forth. And it could be its own religion. But the thing is, just because someone writes their own ideas based off of what they believe, it's not saying that it's something that you need to believe, and it's not saying that it's 100% accurate. It's 100% fact. It's just saying that they want you to kind of think about, give you something to think about when it comes to God or humanity and belief all together. They're giving you something to think about, hold on to, that might be somewhat tangible. But they're not saying this is it. This is 100% fact. This is 100% accurate. It's just their ideas. It's their opinion, man. And you gotta understand that. I think a lot of people, especially people that don't go to church much, or people who go to church but don't really know what's going on, they will watch something and automatically take it as fact. Like, I remember when Stigmata came out, and people were talking about, oh, they're all into Stigmata, all into trying to understand it and saying that it's something that really happens, at least the people that I was dealing with at the time. And I'm like, that's a Catholic thing, and I was trying to explain it, and no one's listening. So, and I go on about other things that's in movies that people believe and actually love. Like, for instance, the movie Contact. I can't stand that movie. There's people that like that movie because, she gets to meet her people that died, her father or whatever, at the end of the movie, and she's in some kind of heaven to some people, even though it was like only a second or something that she went into. It's confusing. That movie's confusing to me, but people like it and people follow it and stuff. And so you gotta understand, people will worship anything they can to give their life meaning and to try to make sense of the world. But it doesn't mean you have to follow. Build your own knowledge and your own wisdom on a belief system that you like and understand. And it might make you humble and a better person. But don't fall for anything, because that's where you end up falling in the wrong places, if you know what I mean. Like by the wayside, as they say. So, enough of me. Let's get into this Scientology. Second video.
75 million years ago, this planet was called Tigyak.
So 75 million years ago, Earth was called Tigyak, or Tikliak. I have no idea how they're pronouncing these words, but it's made up. And Earth originally was called Terran, or something like that. Well, you know, terraformer. I can't even speak. God dog it. And so terraformer is the other name for Earth, and Earth was named after a goddess. And so we have two names. Earth has two names, but no one ever calls it that. We're always calling it Earth. The only time you hear it called like anything with terraformer or firmer is when you talk about Star Trek once again. And in Star Trek, they got the other parallel dimension. You know, they got our dimension where it was Earth, and then you got the parallel dimension where the people were called Terrans. Like, we're called Earthlings, of course, but in the other dimension they're Terran, and they look exactly like us. And it's just the alternate, like you might be wealthy and like help people on Earth, and in the other dimension you're a dictator and you have a lot of sex slaves and you beat people up for no reason and have fun doing it. And so that's the, I don't even know how I got into Star Trek, but but I watch Star Trek. Okay, I don't got a problem with it. Star Trek is actually one of them shows where multicultural. And one thing I like about Star Trek that I notice more in Star Trek than anywhere else is that no matter how crazy looking the person is that comes up and talks to them, they don't judge them. They're like, hey man, what's happening? They got an alien with half a face that's all skeletons and weird spikes coming out his head and like something oozing off of him, and they start talking to him. He's like, yeah, what's going on? And it's like that one dude in Deep Space Nine that never talks, but everyone say he talks too much. He does all this crap, and they're always talking crap about this alien. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm telling you, there's some creepy looking alien creature thingies, and they're always friendly with them. Like, hey, how you doing? And Star Wars does the same thing, but not as good as Star Trek. Because Star Trek, it doesn't make any sense. Why? This thing look like it's gonna tear you apart, like it's gonna eat you and kick you in the butt, and yet they best friends. Like, hey, how you doing? You know, so that's one thing I like about it. So, but the point is, in Star Trek, it's the only way to talk about it, because no one really uses the terraformer thing, and it's called Earth Terra or Terran, and so it's like that's the only way I can explain the difference between Earth and Terran. So right there, this whole planet that they naming, I don't know what it is, but it's not Earth. That's a whole different name I've never heard of for Earth. So that's all I'm getting at.
There were 90 planets in this sector.
So let's see, we'll go back a bit because I ran my mouth.
It was called Tigyak. There were 90 planets in this sector called the Galactic Confederation.
This is part of the text of a Hubbard lecture.
So once again, it sounds like Star Trek. They were still part of a federation. So I'm not too off when I'm talking about Star Trek. I'm actually making sense when I'm talking about Star Trek. But it doesn't make any damn sense.
They had elected a fellow by the name of Zemu to the supreme ruler, and they were about to unelect him. And he took the last moments he had in office to really goof the flute. Zemu decided to take radical measures to overcome the population problem. Beings were captured on other planets and flown to locations near 10 volcanoes or more on Earth.
Oh, wow. Okay. With that little bit of what was said, okay, first this guy, some kind of dude that they was going to unelect his butt, and he decided to do some crap. where there's all these people from other planets, and it gets them together, and it just, okay, this is so freaking odd. They go take them to where there's 10 volcanoes or so. There's not that many volcanoes around each other. 10 volcanoes on Earth. Once again, Hawaii is the only thing I can think of where there's multiple volcanoes. Most of them are underground or under ocean. And you know, when you watch those like documentaries of nature and they talk about volcanoes and they talk about Hawaii, it's actually kind of cool. But this right here makes it ridiculous. So you're gonna take aliens and go to Hawaii. It's the only thing I can think of, and and then take these people. Excuse me. The only thing that's really wrong on top of this is the fact that you're okay. So, oh my god, this is like heavy confusion. Like, when I say heavy, I mean it's like heavy on your brain and make you like, where you're trying to logically make logic out of this, and it's irrational, it's illogical, it's fantasy, it's made up, and it just but then again, someone can take fantasy and make it a reality. You know, you can say Kryptonians are real, and in some cases they might be, but I really believe in Kryptonians in this. But so, oh man, okay, so Tim Volcano, so okay, forget all that. This is going against the other video that I was just talking about. If you listen to it, this is a little bit more detailed. You can tell because now Earth got a name, and it's Tiliac or some crap. And the 10 volcano thing is stupid. Federation makes no sense because, well, I don't know if you believe in Star Wars because it's supposed to be long ago in the galaxy far, far away. You know, that got Empire and all this, so I mean that kind of makes sense. If in a way, I used to always look before they started making all this Star Wars stuff, because Star Wars is actually, Jedi's is actually a religion, believe it or not. It's a real religion called Jedi's. And if you think about how the old stuff, everything before Disney owned it, you know, or before the prequels even, the old stuff, the New Hope, Return of the Jedi, or Empire and Return of the Jedi. Even Star Wars is just Star Wars, yo. They didn't even call it the New Hope for a long time until later on. Because I remember we just say Star Wars, and then when this new prequel stuff came out, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, "What's this?" You know, then I didn't realize it's all about Vader. But the thing about it is this, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, it's in a galaxy long ago, in a galaxy far, far away. And so my recollection or ideas or whatever of Star Wars was always that it's about the war that happened that made humans the only race in the galaxy. That's what I was thinking, you know. And then now it doesn't make any sense. There's humans all over the place. There's little Yoda people and droids of all kinds, and some dork that didn't watch Return of the Jedi, and then he thinks he's like Darth Vader and has a helmet that doesn't make sense because Vader's helmet in Return of the Jedi gets cut like this. But when you watch it in the what do call it, Awakening, Star Wars Awakening, he's like a whole different, it's supposed to be his helmet, but it's all crushed different. So it's like whoever made that movie didn't even watch Return of the Jedi. They're idiots. And where the hell is the Ewoks? It's stupid. And I'm done complaining about Star Wars. So see, this has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with sci-fi. It got me all over the place. Star Trek, Star Wars. I don't know. I'm probably gonna talk about Battlestar Galactica in a minute. So hold on.
H-bombs were dropped on the volcanoes, destroying the bodies of the beings who, as thetans, attached themselves to one another as clusters. A revolt followed of the loyal officers against Xemu. Xemu was locked up in an electronic mountain fortress and remains there still.
Oh boy. I just talked about Kryptonians. You see the square moving around like in the Phantom Zone. It's like they put them in the Phantom Zone. Like, it make any sense. It's stupid. And I just talked about it, god dog it. And then there's officers now. There's these galactic officers that try to come get him after he dropped the H-bomb in, blew up the humans in the volcano. It makes no stupid sense. And now there's all these Phaetons. You know, this stuff. I don't think anybody should talk about. as a belief system. It's just, let's just make this movie happen. Let's make this movie happen and see how many people actually dig it. I mean, who knows? The Scientology people might have just came up with one of the best sci-fi movies ever. Because now I done realize, okay, it's every one of them. It's Star Wars and Star Trek, and now it's Kryptonians getting sent to the Phantom Zone. They put the dude in the Phantom Zone. Okay, he's in there with Zod getting his butt kicked, and a whole bunch of other Kryptonians I can name because I am a Superman fan. And it doesn't make any sense. Hey, somehow Brainiac was able to get him out of Kandar before Krypton was destroyed. Okay, I don't know, man. God dog it, man. What is wrong with people? This is stupid. I don't get it. You know, this video is almost over, but I'm just saying, this is too sci-fi to be a belief system. What are you worshiping? How do you pray? And who are you praying to? Are you praying to the guy that got busted and put in the Phantom Zone? Or are you praying to the Federation? And you like, what is happening here? And what is the rules? Like, you're supposed to just, I mean, another video the guy said you're paying money to get rid of these phaetons. So is that what's going on? You go to a religion to pay to get rid of these alien spirits? I don't get what's going on here. I just don't really understand. And I just really don't understand. I don't even know what to say. Let's wrap this one video up.
Since that time, beings born on this planet have had clusters of phaetons attached to their bodies. OT3 can run out these clusters and cause them to leave us and reincarnate as individuals.
After hours of expensive auditing, you are rid of the body phaetons attached to you. You may then acquire psychic powers, move objects at a distance, and have out-of-body experiences. If you find you can't, then you must take the course again, for another £5,000.
70...
Okay, wait a minute, okay. Oh man, why does stuff keep getting weirder and weirder, man? Okay, so why is it getting weirder and weirder? Okay, so now they're saying, okay, you get rid of these faking things, you can be reincarnated or something to get about your body. Pretty much, I don't know how you're paying for this, or whatever this device is that gets them out of your body. And then, after that's your body, you can get reincarnated or something. It's stupid. And then, it doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden, you use this machine, and you can start levitating stuff. You can start like moving things with your mind, and then you're able to separate your spirit from your body. Wasn't that the whole point was to get rid of the bad spirits, to keep your spirit by itself in a body? It was like you get rid of the bad ones, so why are you trying to separate the good spirit from the rest of the spirits? Or just, what is that, astral projection or whatever they're trying to do here? It's just crazy. And they're talking about spending $5,000 to use this machine that if you can't levitate nothing or mentally move things with your mind, you pay another $5,000 to use a machine. This is beyond heresy. It's just ridiculous. And like I said, what are they praying to? And oh my God, that doesn't make any sense. This would be the most interesting sci-fi movie ever, to be honest with you. I just don't think it belongs in a belief system at all. Come on now. No one can do that unless they actually try to get enlightened and they meditate and pray and just focus on trying to improve their body, spirit, and mind. You should be able to do great things. And that's only if you're able to believe in something stronger than you and try to find a way to be able to control every muscle, every vessel, and every element in your body. You should be able to do these type of things spiritually wise. Like, you should be able to meditate and all that and be able to reach enlightenment and be able to levitate things, you know, be able to move mountains, as they said, if you're a mustard seed or something like that. And it's just like, oh my God. This is so bad. It's so fake and stupid. It's just, come on, man. I have no idea what to say. Usually I can just go on about something, but this is like over the top. This is ridiculous. Good sci-fi movie though. Okay, this makes you think. And then the other one, the alien's green, so it makes you think about the V. And when you think about the V, the new one's pretty cool because it had that chick that played Supergirl in Smallville. So yeah, I can watch her on anything. So, but yeah, this is just anyway. We're gonna move on to the third and final video on Scientology, and I'm not understanding a damn thing. I thought by now I would at least understood what the religion is about. I understand that it's just a sci-fi story that is straight on the point of getting to craziness. Like out of nowhere, they're not even explaining why there's a federation, why this guy found a hydrogen bomb, why did they inject people with these. If you're trying to get rid of them from people's bodies, why did you put them in the body to begin with? Then why are you paying $100,000 to get rid of things, and then 5,000 pounds to use the stupid machine? What in the crap is going on? This had nothing to do with Jesus, had nothing to do with God, had nothing to do with the creation of humanity, had nothing to do with the creation of the earth, and had nothing to do with trying to humble yourself, better yourself, or look after others, protect others, and unify. It had nothing to do with any of that. All that has something to do with is it seems like a sci-fi movie strip that was getting written and then they cut it short. There wasn't nothing else they could do with it. So they couldn't make a movie out of it or a TV show. So they said, hey, let's make a fake belief thing out of it and see how many people follow it and actually believe it. I guess that's probably why there's so many actors that follow it. I mean, that's the only thing I can make sense out of. But let's get to the next one. Okay, so here we are. Back again. I ain't went nowhere. But anyway, so we're talking about Scientology. This video is called What is Scientology? And see how I don't know what the hell it is still after watching 2 videos. What is Scientology? So understand this stuff is all on the internet, and you can look it all up on YouTube and see it for yourself. And yes, but hopefully this one's different. Now this ain't no animated thing no more. And we watched 2 animated things on Scientology, and I don't know why they have to make animations to make you believe in their religions. I don't know. When I was a kid though, I had this big like comic book Bible. It was pretty good, and I used to hold it all the time and read it and stuff. That's before when I used to go to when I first got to school. It was like I was in Protestant school. And then I ended up in a Catholic one because my grandfather was Catholic. And then when I finally went to public school, it was like everything made me stupid. And it was like I could do all kinds of crap, or good stuff in the religious schools. And then when I ended up in public school, it was like it made you embarrassed to do this, embarrassed to do that, or like I was reading all kinds of stuff. And then when I got into public school, it was like I was afraid to read out loud because people make fun of you and things. And public school sucks. And it's just a torture device. It's a way to make you see how cruel the world can be before you actually get into the world. And then the funny thing about it, all those guys and girls act like they're the cat's meow or the bee's knees. Later on in the future, they're drugged out, they're prostituted out, they're miserable, they're living in places that's jacked up, and their lives is crap. And then you look at yourself and you're like, well, hell, that dude used to clown me in school, or that girl was evil back in the day, and I'm living better than them. You'd be surprised. This is how life goes. So if there's any young people watching this thing, believe this will happen. This is the fate of most people from public school. So anyway, back to Scientology. So let's see what's been going on, and hopefully finally I can get to the bottom of this thing and figure out what's this religion all about.
Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic. Every Wednesday we cover an interesting topic, hobby, or something else that people might feel they're uneducated about. Today we're diving into a religion for the first time, focusing on Scientology. I'm going to try to remain unbiased and give you a look at what the Church of Scientology says, what other people might say about it, and hopefully will give you an idea of who they are and what they believe. I will bring up controversies about Scientology, but by doing so, I'm not agreeing with or endorsing any arguments. Before we dive in, I do want to clarify that Scientology is not the same as Christian Scientists, as they're often confused. So let's start at the beginning.
So, L. Ron Hubbard looks like a black and white photo. I mean, you saw him just a minute ago. If you don't know what he looks like, you're going to see it again probably, I don't know. But the thing about it is, what he just said, it's just not about Christian Science. So that just makes it a whole different concept altogether. It's just this, I don't know. It is a sci-fi geek religion, I guess. I have no idea.
Scientology was developed by an author named L. Ron Hubbard. This is important and is the first controversy already, as L. Ron Hubbard was an established author known for works of fiction, mostly science fiction. Over his lifetime, he published over 600 fiction pieces, including both short stories and novels, and he holds the Guinness World Record for the author with the most published works. So as we get into the religion aspect of Scientology, you can see that people might not believe the religious texts that he wrote following so many works of science fiction. Hubbard was a United States veteran, serving as a Navy officer during World War II and commanding 2 ships, but was removed from his post because his superiors found him incapable of command. In one of these instances, he fired upon a Japanese submarine that no one else saw and could later find no proof of. The other instance involved him firing upon an island that turned out to belong to Mexico, an ally of the United States. The Church of Scientology gives a lot of weight to his military career, as his injuries and near-death experiences were partially responsible for his ability to see the truth of things and create the foundation for their belief set. The Church of Scientology also disputes a lot of records about Hubbard, including medical records, and even says that sections are falsified to protect his possibly secret activities as an intelligence officer.
So I'm going to pause it there because that sounds like, so first he blows up a Japanese submarine that has no proof of the submarine. Then he fires on Mexico, an island that's owned by Mexico, yes, ally of the United States. But the thing about it is, was he delusional, or was he just being a liar and an asshole, just wanted to shoot something off? And so it's just like, that's very questionable stuff right there. It shows that he may have the ability to have lied about things. It's a dangerous thing, very dangerous, because people's lives could have been at risk, especially firing on the island and not knowing if people were there. You know, you got to make sure the place is vacated before you do something like that. Not unless he's saying there was really some kind of terrorist organization or something, or guerrillas out there. And I'm not talking about the ones in the jungle. I'm talking about like guerrilla warfare. And once again, I'm not talking about guerrillas in the jungle. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, at least dudes do. I know that. So anyway,
these Navy records also dispute many of the injuries that he claims to have suffered. We move forward in time, where throughout the 1930s and 40s Hubbard continued to write, but also began to experiment more with the occult, including practicing his...
There you go. I knew we hit the head on the nail somehow, or the nail on the head. I don't know. But I knew we'd get to the point. Okay? He's a cultist. He believes in something that's not spiritually right with Jesus. Let's put it that way. And just, you know, probably satanic cult type thing, and you can only figure out how to say it in science fiction terms, and that's what we got.
As a hypnotist and diving into other religious acts that are somewhat unconventional. And in 1950 we have the arrival of his book Dianetics, the modern science of mental health. This year is crucial for Scientologists, the beginning of everything. Dianetics is focused on a technique still used today in Scientology called auditing. Either through conversation or through a machine called an e-meter, these professionals would help the patient recall past traumas and get through them or over them, removing the emotional trauma of past memories in a process called clearing.
So, oh man, let me get this straight. So it's really about mental health now. So what you're trying to do is get rid of past memories, and you want to clear them through this thing called auditing. And you're able to get through it and help them overlive their past memories. So to me, this kind of contradicts those two other videos, because they're saying in the other videos that the alien spirits, the whatever the hell they're called, I can't even think of what they're called now, are actually affecting the human body and stuff. So, man, it's about the spirit things, and now it's mental health. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And the thing is, I can't even talk about L. Ron Hubbard, because it just seems like he's the foundation, he's the figurehead. But it seems like the people, because he's dead now, he's been gone for quite some time. So it means the people that created Scientology use him as a figurehead, but then they have their own personal beliefs and stuff on how they try to operate based off the occult type thing he created, and mental health and science fiction. A lot of stuff.
This e-meter picks up on signals from the body in the same way that a polygraph lie detector might, and it tells the auditor what phrases or memories trigger negative feelings and when they can conclude certain conversations. Initially, they hoped to get this process approved in the larger world of medicine, but these proposals were rejected. At this time, Hubbard also coined a term called Thetan, which is essentially our soul, but it's immortal, and it allows us to tap into past lives and potentially past traumas from those lives that still might affect us. Dianetics is part of Scientology, but Dianetics in itself is not the religion, but rather one way to enhance the religious experience.
So he did say that L. Ron Hubbard practiced hypnotism, and they're using this thing, the e-meter, to try to find these Thetans or Tatans or whatever they're called again, and he's trying to get rid of their memories, their emotional memories as attached to you, which has to do a lot with that e-meter thing a minute ago, and trying to get rid of past life memories and trying to help with mental health. This is, I don't know if it's, in a way, the mental health part sounds beneficial, but then you got a device that is not medically approved that they're using. And I think that's when the cult part falls in, because that's kind of like doing a crime against humanity. You know, there's some kind of experiment you might have with human DNA and trying to enhance it, gene splicing, like splicing it with some other species or something like that. And at the same time, the country will say it's a crime against humanity and you can't do this. And then the person goes to another country where the law is lenient on that and actually makes something that is a crime against humanity with gene splicing. This is what I'm getting out of this. It's not so much of learning something right now. It's more of trying to understand. And so what I'm getting is about mental health, but manipulated mental health, because there's brainwashing involved and a story that tells you why you're the way you are because of some spirits that came and inhabited your body. And then I guess if you know the whole thing with this alien stuff, then you know you believe that's how it all happened. This is kind of what I'm getting at, or understanding. So maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I hit the nail on the head. I have no idea. But this is the way I'm understanding it right now.
The average man is up against certain problems. He's asking himself certain questions. How can I make more money? How can I make my wife faithful to me? How can I make my children grow up? How can, in other words, how can I live a better life? How can I make things more even, more stable for my family? How and what am I up against? What is happening to me in my life? What is my purpose in life, and so forth? These questions, in actual fact, absorb a tremendous quantity of his energy, and he himself is not able to go out and do anything very progressive about it. So the best thing for him to do is to go out and do something about it. But he can't do anything about it because he is so immersed in this. So actually, in Scientology processing, he resolves these questions. He understands what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do. He makes up his mind and he goes ahead and does it. And he turns from a man who is simply a puzzled, static being into somebody who is more dynamic, who is able to accomplish something.
Oh, wow. So he makes a good point. He really does. And a lot of that is the same things that a lot of men ponder during the day. You know, how to make better money, how to do this, the thing with the woman and the kids and all this. He's right. You know, this stuff happens. But the thing about it is, he's using this in the best way. It's more like a pitching point for Scientology. He's saying that through Scientology, you're able to do these things. You're able to get more confidence and be able to handle what you need to handle and get it done. You know what I'm saying? Execute the plan and everything will work out. So, yeah, it's, once again, that kind of ties with the mental health thing, because it's saying you're mentally confused and we gotta put you on the right track, and Scientology is the way to do it. So, they can't really say this is a belief system. You gotta say it's I'll say like a mental health program that helps you purify your life, I guess, by cleansing your soul and working with your mind. The only part is the body part, you know, and hopefully there's no perversion that, like in Mormonism, you know, but it seems like, see, this is where Christianity comes in, and you have mind, body, and soul, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You know, it's like those three things are what it is. Literally, what it is: mind, body, and soul. Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Okay, it's, you know, your mind gotta be on God. Your body is the Son, and then the Holy Ghost is the Spirit within. You know, because you know your body is your temple, type of thing. You know, the church is within, as Jesus would say. So, whoa, man, I think we just hit a point where it's just all about mental health. But I'm going to continue. I might learn something I don't know.
At this point, he pivoted to Scientology, and he made the argument that this whole process is a religion, not a science. With this came his idea to monetize, charging at the time $500 for an entire 24 hours of auditing. This created a wave of churches being formed across the world, including the central headquarters that was then in Washington, D.C., and it still stands as a museum. The headquarters now exists in California, in Riverside County. About 1,000 people live on the property, and it's well protected, including high fences and constant security. There is a public road that drives through it, though it's constantly recorded and monitored. The church requested that the road either be closed to the public or even moved to go around the property, but both requests were denied. There are many rumors about living at this space that are hotly debated, including subpar working wages, pursuit teams that bring people back and don't allow them to leave, and required confessions if they hear of other people in the compound talking or gossiping about the church or its members.
Okay, so we're going to pause it right there, because now it's all rigged out, clear as a bell. Okay, first off, it's in Los Angeles, or California, which means this is why there's so many actors and celebrities that follow Scientology, because it's in their neighborhood, pretty much, you know. And then here's the big no and the big what the hell and why and everything else. Okay, a church or any religion or belief system, however you want to call it, that stops members from leaving and goes and sends a team to go get them and bring them back is a cult. And if you gossip or whatever, then, and you know, but then even the Bible says gossiping is bad. But if there's a gossip about the church itself and you're leading people astray, and they got a problem with that, and they try to penalize you with some form of torture, once again, it's a cult, it's abomination, it's blasphemy, okay, and it's not right. Oh shit! Not with that. A belief system. A belief system should not hold people back from leaving. A belief system should let people leave and be able to spread the knowledge in the most positive way possible, because you gotta feel positive to even want to spread the knowledge. And at the same time, there should be no religion that drives around with members to grab you and kidnap you and bring you back to the religion. You know, this is where free will comes in. You have free will to believe in it or not, you know. And so that's bad. It's a horrible thing. And the gossiping part, where you can get punished if you say something wrong, type of thing about the religion, is another bad thing. It doesn't make it a religion, it makes it a cult. And he already said he's an occult thing a while ago. So, yeah, this is like, you know, I don't want to say Waco, Texas type stuff, but I think that was a little polygamy thing too. And the movie that I saw about it was something totally different. So let's just see what else happened.
I say this is debated because no one inside the base will complain or make a statement to the police about their experience there. Only a few have made complaints after they've left the church, and those cases have all been tossed out or not taken seriously due to lack of information or evidence. Let's back up and focus on what Scientologists believe.
So that they showed the girl from King of Queens, and I've seen a documentary with her about it. I see the documentary with the girl from King of Queens, and I'll say that I don't think she's lying about what she's talking about. I think she might be 100% right because she was there and nobody else could experience things. You know, the thing about America is this, and this is the bad thing about America that no one talks about. But I think the thing about America is we go through so many experiences in life. You know, from little kid all the way to the old man or old woman. And the thing about it is, there's so many different things that can happen in your life, events, so many hobbies you can pick up and drop, and, you know, talents that you learn because you were really into something, but then you moved on and learned something else, or you just don't do it no more. And trying to explain this stuff to people, and even the negative stuff you go through, all the bad stuff, whether it be, you know, a crime or some death or any kind of thing that's tragic. And when you try to explain this stuff to people, oh, you're a liar, because they weren't there. Like, people need a visual of everything that goes on in your life. And I think this is why filming things, cameras, and like picture taking and all that is so popular now, and why people pull their cameras out of their phone and start filming stuff, because no one will believe them. And the worst part about it is the people that do lie, because even if you're telling your story, you're telling your story because you've seen it, you was there, and you know, it means something to you, it's affected you somehow, or you wouldn't be telling the story, you know. And the thing about it is, when you get these people that actually come out and lie, and they lie on people, good people, or any kind of person, they just want to lie because they don't like them or whatever, they want the attention that person's getting. There's people like that, or they just like, you know, seeing someone, you know, they got the people that's not happy unless something bad is happening to somebody else, so they'll lie on that individual. Let's just put it that way. And the worst part about that is people will believe the lie over the truth. And America is number one for that, I'm telling you. And this is the reason why, I think this is one of the number reason why this country is falling, is because they're so used to the lie. They'll willing to accept the lie over thinking lies ruin people's lives. The lies that are being said in this country towards other people. Instead of trying to let them just live and be and accept them for who they are, you'd rather break them down and destroy them so you can feel that happiness because you're miserable, or you just don't got a good heart. You know, I say it in other kind of ways and whatnot, but it has to be said. And I only came up with this, even though we're talking about Scientology. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the King of Queens girl, I can't remember her name, but she's a King of Queens lady, and and that's funny I said that, but that's her name for right now. The King of Queens lady, she went through some kind of emotional thing. No one believes her, you know. And this is something where the Scientology people win, because they're more powerful. They have more people. They have Tom Cruise and other people, and I think at one time Will Smith was part of Scientology. I'm not sure. You know, of course, like I said, Chef Isaac Hayes, you know, and so forth. So, I mean, I really don't know, like I said, how many people were involved, but I kind of think if someone gets away and they're saying this stuff, then it actually happened. And I haven't even talked about Nexium, which is the whole thing with the Chloe Sullivan girl, Allison Mack from Smallville, that became part of that cult, which was shocking as all hell. That one has to be more shocking than anything. Matter of fact, I might talk about Nexium. So, but my point is, it's just sad that our country chooses to believe a lie, chooses to ruin lives, and keep people held back, even without a lie, even without any of that part I'm talking about. Just hold people back because you don't think they're worthy. You already summed them up by looking at them. You think they're stupid. You know, you get this whole one-sided idea of somebody, you know, one-dimensional. You think that the personalities can't change or they can't grow. You can't let things go and move up and become, you know, brand new and stronger, better. You know, you just automatically think they're just this one way that you think they are. You know, but people don't have to tell you every personality, every side of their personality. People don't have to hide who they are just to make you feel good. And that's the problem, though, is that people do. They hide who they are to make someone else feel good when they should just be themselves. Like right now, I'm probably the most realist person on this whole thing because simply being myself. That's what I'm doing right now. So, but the thing is, a religion like this is very dangerous if that's the case. You know, that they're doing all this stuff to people and at the same time stopping someone from telling the truth about their life just to protect the things they believe in. And that's an odd comment and thing to say because in some cases, in most cases, you always got to protect what you believe in, but only protect what you believe in if it stands up for what's right. And that's all I got to say about that. So let's finish this.
As a religion, what are their beliefs? They believe that their soul, the Thetan, is immortal, and our lives are not confined to the single lifetime. They also believe we are capable of anything, even if we haven't been able to realize it yet. They do believe in a godlike figure called the Supreme Being, but the ability to see the truth due to lack of information or evidence. Let's back up and focus on what Scientologists believe. As a religion, what are their beliefs? They believe that their soul, the Thetan, is immortal, and our lives are not confined to the single lifetime. They also believe we are capable of anything, even if we haven't been able to realize it yet. They do believe in a godlike figure called the Supreme Being, but its members learn about that and discover it on their own unique journeys.
So they do believe in God. That's good. I think that would have been a better pitch with the animated stuff if they started with that. Because otherwise it just sounds like a sci-fi strip, a sci-fi movie copying Star Trek and Star Wars. That's what it sounds like. Or a little bit of the V and some other crap.
There are 8 dynamics that drive us forward, including the urge towards infinity, which includes discovering God. Other dynamics include the urge to protect animal life, the urge to exist as a peaceful community, and the urge to exist as one mankind across all races. When speaking about Scientology, words like faith and belief are often avoided in lieu of concrete terms based on science and technology. Once you are clear, meaning you've been cleansed of traumatic memories and feelings, you are able to climb the ladder to more meaningful and powerful positions. After clear comes a state called Operating Thetan, or OT for short. This allows you to control the world around you, including life, energy, and matter. They can also leave their bodies, as the Thetan itself is not confined to it. There are many levels of Operating Thetan, and it costs money through the auditing process to progress. The cheapest level is $2,750 about, and that's assuming you're free of those memories and feelings. Otherwise, you'll have much more auditing to do before this.
Okay. Oh, wow. Man, there's a lot of stuff. I'm just going to get to the nitty gritty because there's a little other stuff I want to talk about just from watching that. But the thing is, $2,750 to get rid of these memories type things. How do you know these memories aren't implanted? Because the people are getting hypnotized. So, oh wow. It's a money game. It's a money game. That's all it is. It's just, this is a wealthy person's religion. This is wealthy person's, this is rich people, pretty much. If something costs $2,750, a normal family, you know, like a woman and her kids without a dad or whatever, she can't afford that. Or even if you had a husband and a wife and there's maybe 2.3 kids, you know what I'm saying, they can't afford that crap. You gotta buy stuff for the family. So this is not a poor person or a middle class person. The middle class pretty much doesn't exist anymore. But it's either rich or poor nowadays. You know, even when you got a job, you're poor. So, because the economy's so jacked up. But the thing about it is, it's just like, man, this is not reality. This is rich people eat the rich. Listen to Aerosmith. Yes.
The third level of OT involves a major discovery that Hubbard discovered after Scientology had been founded. While people reaching this level have signed confidentiality agreements, some of these documents have been released to the public, and it tells a story that again causes a pretty major controversy. Okay, bear with me. 75 million years ago, an ancient being...
They use the South Park footage right here. It's funny. You can tell the artwork.
Called Xenu was a dictator of something called the Galactic Confederacy. He brought humans to Earth, dropped them into volcanoes, and killed them, releasing their thetans into the environment. These thetans are angry and upset, causing us now to be infected and affected by these negative emotions. To overcome these negative emotions from this traumatic event is how you can reach OT level 3, but it's dangerous. L. Ron Hubbard claims that it's a tough thing to do, and many illnesses might plague people attempting to conquer it. The church itself doesn't enjoy the telling of the story, and will go out of its way to block its telling, so if this video disappears, or if I go missing, that may be the reason why. This story was the focus of an episode.
So, even what he's saying, the church doesn't like to have this story told, and he feels he's going to be hunted down for telling it. I just like to say, I don't even care about the story. I mean, you know, I'm just trying to figure out. It's just like, my point of this stuff is trying to understand these religions. And so, these are religions I never went on a journey to research. I never researched a lot. I mean, you have no idea how many. Like, I literally spent months every day at a church. Like, for a week, I go, you know, I'm at non-denominational, I'm at the Pentecostal, I'm at the Seventh-day Evangelist, I'm at the Lutheran Church, I'm at the Buddhist meditation thing, I'm at this. I mean, I went and did this for like 6 months to try to go on my journey to find God and the truth of humanity and everything. So I've actually, when I talk about these things, I've actually did this, and I actually read a lot of stuff, and Taoism is another one that I like a little bit, because it's all about yin and yang and balance. I think balance, period, is how God works. So I think, even though Taoism is its own belief system, karma is a real thing. If something happens, and it's pretty much hell. You guys see that my name is Earl. If you do good things happen. If you do bad things happen. They talk about it even in those other videos with the kids and stuff. I forget what it's called right now. Or the person that does it. And anyway, you know, he says whatever you put in the world comes back to you. That's all real. It's all real. So let's try to be most positive as possible. There's days where you're going to be negative, there's days where you're going to be angry, or just a little ornery, and you do some stupid crap outside of your judgment, but that's still who you are. But it doesn't mean you have to be that way 24/7. You know, so just cherish the good things, and then ask people that I make you mad. Like, usually I do something, and I think I offended somebody, and I automatically come back and go, hey man, I'm sorry about this, or hey, I'm sorry, I offended you, you know, you're a nice woman or whatever. And they'll be like, what are you talking about, Shelby? I remember things from way back. You know, I got one friend who doesn't understand how to come up with all this knowledge on certain things. And it's like, I got a good memory and stuff. But I'll remember why I offended somebody that day, and then like days later I forgot. Which bugs the hell out of me, because I can't forget crap half the time. So, especially when it comes to human interactions. So, yeah, my point is, try to be positive in the world, and positive things happen. And you want me to do whatever we're talking about in this video to get rid of these supposed emotions that come from these spirits. And that's just, I mean, yes, I'll tell you one thing. They're talking about demons. These ain't no aliens. These ain't no Phaetons, as they call them. These are demons they're talking about. Demons will affect you. They'll get into your soul and try to corrupt you. Sometimes the first thought in your head is actually a demon's thought. This is why And like, for instance, therapy will say, the therapist will tell you to hear voices. Usually that's a sign that you have some kind of demonic thing that's going on. It's not a part of you. Literally, we all have inner monologues. We all have a voice inside our head. That's why a lot of people stay quiet, because they're thinking, and the thinking that you're thinking about is really you talking in your head. And you know you got one, because I got one. And I'm pretty much everybody else got one. You know, it's like stupid narrator you hear in the TV shows and stuff like Deadpool and all that. So it's like, come on, you know. When therapists use it, it's a way to try to say no one thinks in their head. Stupid is a lie, and we always talk and think in our head. The problem is we try to quiet all that down. You know, you have to find a day, cut off the TV, stop listening to music, just sit there, relax, sometimes turn the lights off because your eyes get bad, because that's part of your brain. You know, you gotta let everything rest. That's why there's a day of rest. There's a Sabbath for everybody. And you have to sit back and relax and be able to harness that peace, that quiet. And any thought that comes in your mind, you gotta let it pass. Don't linger on it. You might think of somebody like ripping you off, and then next thing you know, your mind goes into that thought, and the next thing you know, you're angry for some crap that happened years ago or decades ago. But you gotta let all your thoughts pass by you and just sit there and think about nothing. And that's when you start feeling more humble. And because Jesus says the way to Him is through meditation and prayer, or a way to God, which is Jesus. So I just say go with it. Because people will drain your energy, people will suck up your energy to try to get you to do things you don't want to do, and you don't want to be a part of that. So the best way to try to separate from all that is to do what I'm talking about. To meditate, let your thoughts go by, don't focus on anything, turn off the TV, turn off the music, just sit there. You need a day of recharge and reiteration, and you feel revamped, you feel whole. And so that's what I recommend. And instead of trying to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to touch a device that's supposed to get rid of your alien spirits. But they're really talking about demon possessions here, and that's what's going on. So they're just using alien as another thing because it's a foreign invader to your body.
Episode of South Park centering on Scientology.
What is the most secret part of Scientology or thing that they worry about leaking?
Well, you know that stuff about the aliens and the volcanoes.
I don't know what that. No, what is that?
Oh, gosh.
It's like the whole basis of Scientology.
Yeah, well, you don't know about that when you're in Scientology until you reach a certain level. Like, you have to receive a certain amount of training and counseling, and it can take years, and, you know, the public Scientologist has to pay a lot of money before they get there.
Like I said, rich people religion. No way anybody can afford that.
Counseling, and it can take years, and, you know, the public Scientologist has to pay a lot of money before they get there.
The total to get to this point through the process of auditing is around $100,000. If you don't become enlightened and don't solve these life mysteries, you must pay to try the process again.
By the way, most Scientology.
Well, come on now. How would you feel if you go to church and they tell you, you gotta give us $100,000 to free you of all sins? And then they say you gotta pay another $100,000 because it didn't work, you're still sinful. That's crazy. It's outrageous. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay? You know, suffer and succotash. They want you to sit there and be all stuck on stupid and just keep giving them money. That's not gonna work. It doesn't fly. And the King of Queens girl here, you know, like I said, she might hold weight. She might have some real knowledge that people ain't listening to because they rather believe a lie than the truth.
Scientologists don't even get to this.
Most
don't.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have to be wealthy to get to this.
Not only do you have to be wealthy, but a lot of times what they do, the new scam is you got to go, you get to a level and then they go, oh, we messed that up, you have to go back down at your expense.
Well, the church doesn't come out and discuss Xenu in this.
You have to go down a level. They're saying, oh, you messed up so they can get more money out of you. So that's the why. So they pay $100,000 and then they tell you that the process didn't work. And so you got to go back down a level. and so you got to pay another $100,000 to get back to that level and get the process done again. That's with $100,000. You can do so many things. You can buy houses, and nowadays it's not like, I mean, I remember I bought a house in the early 2000s. It was like 2001, and I paid $135,000. You can't get too many houses for $100,000 no more. But you probably can if it's in a place where property value is cheaper, town that where it's not that many people. You know, it's a reasonable price. You can buy it for that much amount of money. You can buy like at least 2 cars. If you want to buy a brand new, it's going to cost you $50,000 for both cars, maybe $20,000. They got cars for $20,000. I mean, it can stretch your money out. You can do a little bit more than most people. And yes, it's not $1 million or $1 billion, but it's enough to get you started and make you feel comfortable for a while. And just to give it up freely to a church, $100,000, not just once, but multiple times, means you're an idiot. Just saying. Especially one that doesn't believe in the natural order of belief and has anything with Jesus or God or even Moses attached to it. So it's like, why bother? You know.
This incident, volcanoes do feature prominently on the covers of Dianetics. Now another controversy arrives in the form of...
Now look at the list, look at the title of Dianetics and how it's brought in this volcano. This is why I'm starting to tell you it's about demonic behavior, okay? In so many ways you can change the surrounding and make it say Dante, which means Dante's Inferno. They just get rid of a few letters or so. And at the same time you got this volcano thing. Like I said, volcanoes, they had to put a hydrogen bomb in a volcano to take souls out. All this crap sounds demonic if you think about it. You know, so this is a demonic behavior type of thing. It's just really crazy that no one else sees this. But it is what it is. So in so many words, you have to pay very close attention to what's being said and what's being done and what you're truly looking at, and if it's looking back at you.
Of taxes, and if Scientology should actually be considered a religion by the IRS. The IRS tried to claim back taxes in the 60s, but the church responded with thousands of lawsuits against the IRS, resulting in about 25 years of back and forth litigation, eventually resulting in the decision that Scientology was indeed a church and exempt from taxes. Now, by the time this landmark decision was made, L. Ron Hubbard had passed away. The church's official statement was that he no longer needed his physical body, but he continued to write and research without it.
How can you write and research without your body? Not unless you're a ghost, like that ghost in the library in the Ghostbusters, and she was reading it, she turns around and goes, shh, you know, something like that. But other than that, it's, oh man, I want to say something, but I don't even know what to make it sound right and appropriate or whatever, but come on, man.
This was in 1986, and a man named David Miscavige took over the church. A lot of claims have come out against Miscavige, including violence and abuse towards church members, but nothing has been substantiated. Something notable that happened around the time of the leadership change was the rise in the celebrity Scientologists, prime examples to help recruit others. First came John Travolta, then Tom Cruise, and they are the two most well-known. But many other Hollywood types came to Scientology, able to pay for these auditing sessions that would relieve them of past traumas. But what people don't think about is that these auditing sessions, essentially counseling, covering their deepest, darkest secrets, are all kept in records. So each member of the church has a file that can be used at any time to either discredit them or blackmail them. This might be the reason that people stay in the church or don't tell the truth when asked. Now, this is already a long video, but if you're interested in more supposed testimony, there are a few documentaries that go into much more depth, including Going Clear, available now on HBO.
Alright, I'm going to stop that video and say, that's stupid. And now there's blackmail involved. So it's like they got everything documented in a record. This is why therapy is bad. You know, I mean, honestly, therapy is the whole basis of this thing. So it's like, you know, you're putting records in, you're taking someone's personal lives or pain and trauma, like I said, and you're using it against them. In this situation, they're paying these people hundreds of thousands of dollars. They won't let the people leave because they're blackmailing them to get more money out of them. this is why you gotta put yourself in check. You gotta humble yourself. You gotta find a way to relieve stress. You gotta think about what is a negative in you and try to get it out, as best as possible. Like, here's the thing. So, like, daily I hear people try to, people that hate me or whatever, they try to say, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. And it's so freaking stupid because literally on a normal day basis, I don't think of crazy crap. Like, the only thing about as crazy is just like, oh, I need to get a woman and put boobies in my face. But that's about it. And I barely think of that because as soon as I get a project going in my mind or something, it's like, I'm just flowing with it. Like, literally behind me, you got, this is like a TV computer thing. I got a thing going on with Linux over here. And then back behind me, I got a computer with 2 monitors and some crap going on that I do. I do animation over here on Linux. I'm trying to make an animated film. And over here behind me is some other stuff I'm doing. And hey, got another one right here that you can't see off camera. I've been writing novels on this stupid novel, and I thought it was good, but then people start laughing while I explain it. I'm not going to explain it right now, but just saying, like, I'm always thinking, and it's just that's why I was talking about you have to calm your mind sometimes. And so my point is, I work, I come home, I either play video games, which takes up most of my time sometimes, or watch a good movie, which once again takes up my time, or I go to sleep. And I either, it's all of these things. And so I really don't have, I think that a secret, you're hiding something about who you are. And so there's nothing to hide with me. What it is what you get. And whatever things were fabricated about me, if you believe it, then whatever. Because it's only there to make me look bad and stop me from getting any kind of success. And that's not just me, it's a lot of people in America. And so, you have to be feeling ashamed about what you're doing to have a secret, plain and simple. Or you're guilty about something. And so, to be able to go to these therapy sessions and have them do this and that and so forth, the main thing therapy's supposed to do is, like, help you get over things from the past. But if you leave the past buried behind you and don't worry about all that stuff and just think steadily of your future, you don't need therapy. And you don't need to hide anything. You just let it go. Looks like another love TKO. And with that being said, I'm going to say this is morally wrong as a faith belief system. I'm going to say it's only for rich people. I still don't understand what the hell is going on with the whole origin and creation of this Scientology. I pretty much found out it's just a cult and a scam, and that's it. There's nothing else involved that sounds appealing. And usually I can say something religious wise, like at least with the Mormons I can say, okay, this is where they come up with the idea with this is how God fits in there and how humans do this and that makes it more close to being a religion than this is just another one of those things like, oh, the Heaven Gate people where they were having jumper suits or track suits or speed suits, whatever you want to call it, and they sit around waiting for a comet, and then they kill themselves when the comet came by, thinking their spirits are going on the comet to go somewhere, which really makes no sense if you think about the distance of a comet from Earth and how speed and velocity of the comet is, and then your soul dying at that moment is not going to be able to reach that fast. Not unless they believe souls can reach light speed, which would make a whole different concept, or some form of light speed times 10, or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't went off into my nerdy math thing. So, peace be with you all. Blessings upon you always. Till next time.